Hi everybody, welcome to the video section of our Launchmetrics Support Center. Today we're going to be covering how to send an events mailing. Hopefully you've had a chance to view our other videos on how to create an event as well as add invitees to your event. So this video is focusing solely on how to send out the mailing. Within the previous event videos that we had, you'll see that we went from 0 invitees to now we have a total of 16 invitees, and these are who we're going to send our events mailing to today. So I'm in my invitees manager, and I want to take a look at what are the mailing templates that I have available to me. So if I click on events mailing, I'm now in the events mailing portion of the system. From here, I have a number of different templates that I can send. The RSVP invitation email template is most likely what you're going to be sending the most. If I click on preview, I can take a look at what my invitation is going to look like when I preview and I cycle through each of my invitees. If I click on this drop down, you're going to take a look at what my RSVP yes confirmation email looks like. So you might have set this up when you're making your event details, in which we took a look at in our other support videos. And showing that this yes confirmation email can go out automatically if you choose to anyone who does RSVP yes or no. So these three templates are just confirmation templates. The RSVP seating email template, this is a really great template for seated events, especially during fashion weeks, because this is the way that the invitees will they'll take this invitation with their seating confirmation and bring it with them to the venue. Same thing goes for priority standing or standing. We have our invitee event check-in email template. So again, we touched upon this in our other support video when we were creating our event, talking about what the event check-in email is. This email will go out automatically anytime you're using the events app for your check-in and when you mark an invitee as checked in. When you do mark an invitee as checked in, they're going to receive an automatic confirmation email template. So you'll notice that if I change that template by just simply clicking on it, here at the top, now we're working on our invitee check-in template. If I preview this email, you'll see it's pretty basic, but it's going to pull the name of our invitee, it's going to pull the name of our event, and we're so pleased to have you with us. Certainly, if you're going to utilize that template, we most likely probably suggest you to just go ahead and edit that one a little bit. So we also have our invitee custom reminder and follow-up templates. All of these by default are blank. They look just like this, totally blank. All three of those. Now, they're called invitee custom reminder and follow-up. They do not need to necessarily be a reminder or a follow-up. You can feel free to use them as a reminder or a follow-up, but they can be used in whatever fashion you'd like, and they're just 3 blank templates that are available to you. So let's focus on the RSVP invitation email template. So if I click on that, we now know that if I click on Preview, Edit, Settings, that has to do with this RSVP invitation email template. So again, I'm going to preview my template. By clicking on this arrow that points to the right, I'm cycling through my Invitees Manager, and I can send myself a test email. So if I click on Send Test Email, I can put my own email address in here, click on Send, and right away, automatically, I'm going to get that test email. So we highly suggest that you always send yourself some test emails just to confirm that you love the way your invitation looks before you send it out to all of your invitees. If I click on Edit, this is where I'm going to make the edits to my template. So let's review what these mean with the red asterisk here. So Support Center Training Video, my send from name. So my send from name, this is a great spot for me to put either my brand name, my designer name, my client's name, whoever you want to make it look like the email is coming from. The subject, so the subject line of my email, say invitation. The send from email, so you have some flexibility with this for sure. Anything to the left of the @ sign can be whatever you want it to be. So I can call it support, I can call it support center, I can change this however I'd like. But to the right of that @ sign, so the actual domain name of the email address that it's coming from, we want to keep an eye on this green checkbox. So by using @launchmetrics.com, I know that my email address is validated for anti-spam. Now, if my company name, for example, is brand X, that brandx.com, that domain name is not validated for anti-spam. So what does this mean? This means that there's a high degree of likelihood that your emails are going to go through to your recipients, but it also means that there is a chance that this domain name could go to someone's spam inbox. So what if that's the name of my brand and I want to make sure that it's always validated and I always have that nice green checkbox? That looks just like that. So you always do want that when you are sending out a mailing. If you can't get it, it's not the end of the world. If you do have the ability to take these directions that we find in our support center, so I'll go ahead and I'll click on this. If I am able to take these directions and hand them off to our IT team that you might work with, anyone that knows what a DNS record is at your company, you need to just modify the SPF record to allow the domain name to be validated for anti-spam. So this can be a little bit technical, so this is why we usually do suggest taking this support center article, passing it off to an IT person, and having your domain name validated for anti-spam. Taking that action is going to greatly increase your mailing's ability not to go to a spam folder. Now, for understanding what spam is, we do have another support center article for that, which we do highly recommend you do read. It is in our Getting Started section, and if I go to page number 2, I have an article about understanding spam. So this article is going to tell you a little bit about what spam is, why my emails might end up in spam, as well as what Launchmetrics does to help my mailings avoid spam, and what are some of the things that I can do and what my recipients can do to help make sure that my email campaigns, my invitations don't go to spam. So definitely, please take a look at these articles. We am always open to answering any questions that you do have on what spam is, but really what we're looking for always is that nice green checkbox that our domain name has been validated. And if you have any questions on that, please feel free to reach out to our Launchmetrics support team. Now, my reply to email. So once our recipients receive our invitation, we want to allow them to have an email that they can reply directly to. So maybe this email address, supportcenter@launchmetrics.com, that might not be a real email address. But we want to make sure that this reply to email is a real email address. So if someone was to click on reply, they are going to get in touch with you. Now, if you have the luxury of working with a great UX designer or anyone that writes really great coding, a front-end developer, what you can do is actually copy and paste the code that they might send you, HTML-rich code, and you can paste that directly in the source section. So as you can see, all of this is just code. So if you do have a graphic designer who does have code for you, you can easily come right into the source section, remove everything, paste your code in, and within moments you have a really great looking invitation image. So I'm going to just reset that template. And now we're back to our default. Now, if I have just a JPEG image or a PNG image of my invitation that I do want to insert in the body of the email, I can certainly go ahead and do that. So I can erase all this information. And to add an image, I click on the mountain icon. I can browse for my image. And I can find my image just on my local computer. And I can select that image. I can do that. Or if you recall when we did put in our our invitation image, you can just click on Use Invitation. That was from the video that we did on creating our event. We can now put in our our graphic image within the body of our invitation email template. So we can make that look really nice if we have a great image with all the event information. So if I'm ready to save my template, I can go ahead and click on Save. And now when I preview once again, I want to see what it's going to look like when I click to RSVP. So when I click to RSVP right now, I would get this message that says no RSVP open events found. This is not good. This is not what we want. You don't want to blast out your invitation to everyone and then have this come up. So what this means is that we need to open up our RSVP. So to do that, you'll see the button that says Open RSVP, and that's directly here in the Events Mailing section. I can click on Open RSVP. And now, if I were to preview a mailing template and then click to RSVP, now we have our really nice RSVP landing page for our invitees. Within this page, your invitee has the ability to RSVP yes or no. They have the ability to add this event directly to their Google Calendar. That's what they use. You'll notice that, remember, if you have watched our video on creating the event, we took a look at RSVP notes, and the note that we left was to kindly RSVP before June 30th. So that's where this note pushes here. If you've watched that video, you'll know what I'm talking about. Our invitation image is right here that we've placed. And your client's brand logo, if you do have that set up on your company's Launchmetrics events site. If you do have the logo set up for your agency or your brand, you'll see that here. Now your invitees, when they RSVP, they also have the ability to sign up for a Radar account because they've received an invitation. If they already have a GPS Radar account, they have the ability to log in and sync the event. So this event would sync to their events calendar on their Radar app. So that is very helpful, especially during Fashion Week. So if I click on yes, if I'm Anna Wintour here and I do click on yes to our video, I can log in if I need to log in. And really the whole beauty of sending out your invitations is now in our Invitees Manager. If I click search, I'm going to see that Anna has changed her RSVP. So that's really a huge benefit of using our events platform. You're going to blast out your invitation and you're going to get those RSVPs that are going to get tracked for you really nice and easily. We also talked about the guest limit. So that guest limit we talked about in our video on creating our event. So let's take a look at what that looks like here. So Derek Blasberg, if Derek goes and he sets a guest limit of, if we want to say Derek Blasberg can bring 2 people to our event, I can set that up in my guest limit. Tom Brown can bring 1. The support center contact, they can bring none. So what does that look like? So now, if I'm previewing my event template, when Derek Blasberg clicks to RSVP, now he has the ability to bring up to 2 guests. So what would that look like? So if Derek RSVPs yes, and he was going to add in his guest name, friend 1, can put that information in, friend 2. I can put that in, and now you'll see I can't add a 3rd person because we've given him those up to 2 guests. And let's take a look back at our Invitees Manager, and you're going to notice now that when I click on search, Derek Blasberg's RSVP status has changed to yes. The guest names that he's added for us have also RSVP'd yes. So really helpful for us to, once we send this out, to have all that tracked for us. So the work is being done for us. Now let's take a look. Now for Tom Brown, if Tom reaches out to me and he tells me that he is going to come to the event, maybe he doesn't click to RSVP, that's okay. I can manually change an RSVP. I can manually do that by just simply clicking on the yes or the no button. And when I do that, you're going to notice when I RSVP someone yes automatically, I'll get a little mail icon that says send RSVP confirmation email. So when I send out, when invitees RSVP, they automatically get a a yes confirmation email, which we talked about previously. So when I manually change an RSVP, I need to manually push that out. To add a guest, so if Tom reaches out to me and says he's going to bring a guest, I can click on the drop down here and I can click add guest. And this is going to allow me to bring a guest, or sorry, mark a guest for Tom Brown. If I have the name in it, I can add all that in. If I don't, not a problem. I can click on create, and now I've just added guest 1 of Tom Brown. So that's going to be saved in my invitees list. It's going to be on my iPad or iPhone app when I do conduct my check-in. So now let's take a look. So I want to go ahead, I want to send out my invitation to everyone. So we've already played around with the RSVP for some people. So maybe we wouldn't in this use case send to all found. So what I can do though, I can either queue all found, and I can uncheck the people that I don't want to send to, or what I could do, I can clear my queue and I can search. I want to search for just the people that have pending RSVP statuses. And now what I can do is send to everyone here. So I'm going to click on the drop down and then I'm going to select all found. I'm then going to use my queue options and I'm going to select send to events mailing. You're going to see that you have in yellow, it says you have an invitee queue ready to be imported. Now, before we import that invitee queue, if I click on settings, I can set up where my email is going to go to the primary email address, the alternate email, assistant email that I have for my contacts. Now I can say maybe you have high-level editors, any sort of contacts in your system where you have assistant emails put in. You can uncheck these, and now when you email, it's just going to go to assistant's email. But most people, I would say, have all these selected. It is important just to have all of them selected, so if you do have an email address in any of these fields, that it will be sent successfully to that email address. So just make note that you have that ability to send to specific emails that you do have for your contacts in the system. And I can, if I check this off, I can send an email to whatever the only available email address is. And when there is no email available, based on maybe I only selected assistant email, but my contact doesn't have an assistant email, it will send to whatever is an available email address. So you can set up email settings and save those. But now we're ready to actually send this out. So Fashion GPS, there's no such thing as mailings going out by accident. When you send out an invitation, it's a multi-step process. There's multiple clicks involved, and that is to prevent mailings from going out by accident. So I have to now click import from invitee queue because we had queued our contacts and sent to events mailing. So now when I click on that, you'll see everyone who's going to be sent my email. So it's about 10 out of 12 people. If I change my display, I can see all 12 of who that's going out to. If I wanted to preview, again, I can click on the drop down here and preview the mailer, see what it's going to look like when I send to Eddie. I can also remove the recipient or edit the contact. I can do that directly from this window. I can queue certain contacts and just send select to some of those. Or remove like I just did there. But most likely you're going to be going and just clicking at this point, send to full list. If you've made a mistake and you want to clear these drafts, simply click on clear drafts and that'll remove everyone. So at that point, I'm ready to click on send to full list. You're going to notice that the number 9 in my drafts, when I click send to full list, is going to go in my outbox. So we usually tell teams at this point, if you've made it to this far, your work for the time being is done. The emails are now being sent out. They're going to be in this outbox for a number of minutes. The more invitees you email, the longer your message is going to be in the outbox. The fewer that you message, the shorter it's going to be in the outbox. So at this point, your system is emailing people. It is going out. There's nothing I can do at this point. So after the message goes out within 20, 25 minutes, you're going to start to collect new RSVPs, and you're going to have the ability to go to the Sent tab, and this is where you're going to be able to start to search for failed deliveries, any emails that were successfully sent and not read, or successfully sent and read. So really strong delivery responses we're going to get here. And what we can do that's really powerful, we can go to our invitees manager and we can start to mix and match that. So I can search for, okay, who read my invitation, who opened and read my invitation successfully, but still is a pending RSVP. So you can search for those people and follow up accordingly. You also can search for who has not yet been sent the invitation. So this is really important for new names that I add to my list. So we know that invitees lists grow organically. More and more people get added as the events come in. A very easy way to always search for who have I not yet sent my invitation to. Simply search in the invitation email template, not yet sent. Click on search, and I can see, okay, these are the 10 people that I did not send out my invitation to. And again, we can see that because I have my layout preference RSVP invitation email, and it says the word no. For those that I have sent it to right now, you're going to see that it is processing, but once that does get sent out, it's going to be a nice green checkbox that says sent successfully, or a red X message that says that it did fail. Now we will give out failed reasonings of why it did fail. If you do take a look at our support center as well, if you want to search for failed explanations, we have a whole article that describes what the failed explanations mean. So feel free to utilize those. And I know we've been highlighting just the RSVP invitation email and how that works. It's going to be the same thing for all of your other templates. So if you send out the custom email template, you can search for, okay, who didn't get that custom email template, or who did I not yet send out my reminder email template to. When I sent my follow-up template, which emails failed. So so much power within these events mailing templates that you have at your disposal. We highly suggest you use numerous templates, and the reason why using numerous templates is helpful is because it's going to allow you to compare and contrast. So I have my RSVP invitation email. If I use my layout preference, invitee, follow-up, if I add that to my layout preferences, what that's going to allow me to do is it's going to allow me to compare. So you'll see, okay, these are processing, but maybe I'm able to see that John Williams, he did not read my invitation email, but if I send him my follow-up, I'm going to be able to see, okay, maybe John, he read my follow-up email template. So if you use different email templates, you're gonna be better able to see which templates produce better RSVP responses. You can resend out the invitation email, and that's just going to simply allow you, just the sent date is going to refresh and update. So that's what that would do. But if you use a whole new template to send out an invitation, you're going to be able to compare if someone had opened it originally, and maybe not opened it on the follow-up, or vice versa from there. So that's our article on how to send out an events mailing, our training video on how to send out an events mailing. Hopefully this was very helpful. We do always have our lines and our emails open at our Launchmetrics Support Center, so please feel free to reach out if you do have any questions on events mailings. But hopefully this video has taught you well enough how to send out your basic RSVP invitation email. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to having you reach out to us and watch some of our other videos as well in our support center. Thanks so much. Have a great day.